Alright, Superfly Ninja here with a basic tutorial on how to make a mod starting with Blender and getting it into Arma 3. Alright, so there will be some tools needed for this. The BI tools, BI editing tools, Blender 2.5 and above, the Arma toolbox for Blender, and here are some recommended tools. Okay, so basic model. Not going to get too far into modeling with Blender, but I usually start off by clearing my workspace and then just going into user preferences and checking to see if I have the Arma toolbox selected there under add-ons, and then I just kind of model on from here. Thing to note is try not to scale too much. I notice it doesn't transfer into oxygen too well. So here I am exporting the mesh into my mod folder, and then from here I'll go on to texturing. Basic texturing. Won't go too far in texturing. This is a pretty basic object. I'd say it's about 8 foot tall in game, so there's not really much need for mapping. I'm only using one material for this, or one texture. So what you're going to do is you want to click on material and assign a new one, or click new, and then make sure you have your object set up as an Arma object. So you do that by pressing N and then click Make Arma Object. Then you go back to your material option here, or your tab here, and you'll scroll down and it'll give you an option to assign texture, and then you just click on your .paa texture. Something I forgot to say is you're going to want, for Blender, a .paa and then a .png or TGA or some other file that Blender will read. Because as soon as you get this material set up, you'll go into the texture tab here, and you'll create a new texture, and you'll set it up as an image, and then you'll open up that .png or TGA or whatever. That way, when you bring up the image editor, what you do by holding on the little triangle on the side there, and then you switch the view type to image editor, and you click on this little picture, and then you can view the texture that you just loaded. That way you can, as soon as you unwrap your model here, it'll show up in Blender. Smart unwrap if you want, or you can just click on each face. Alright, so you got everything textured, and you're getting it ready for Arma 3. I usually switch my custom distance to 0.00, and then I click File, Export, and then Arma to whatever, .p3d, and I export that into my mod folder. And then I'll just minimize Blender and load it up into Oxygen. Alright, so I got my P3D, and I'm gonna load it up into Oxygen here. Alright, press F9 to bring up multiple views. Alright, so something to take note. If you Control A and then hit E, it'll bring up this face properties. If you want to view it in Bulldozer, you'll have to change the texture directory, at least for me. I'm not sure why, but usually you have to do it to P and then the mod folder, then the texture. When I'm done messing around, I just take the P directory out. So you're gonna have to make a few LODs. Usually you want the zero distance. If you're just making a basic model like a box, you'll need a zero distance and a geometry, fire geometry, and a land contact. You can have other view distances. I mean, if you got a box, you're not gonna need anything more. I think I made one for 5,000 here, just because I could. So, tip for geometry is I usually make a basic box that fits within the model, and then I'll hit it with some mass. Make sure everything's selected, and then hit it with mass, and then I'll go in the structure. I think it's called topology. Then find components, and that should be good for geometry. I also do it for fire geometry, but I don't know if it needs it or not. Alright, and for the land contacts, I usually go into the zero distance LOD and then select all the points on the bottom and copy it over and paste it into the land contacts LOD. Then it should be good to go. Okay, so making the PBO. You're going to need the model, the texture, and a config file, config.cpp. I'm not getting into it because I still don't understand. I've tried several different versions and it still puts everything under objects. So that's something I'm going to have to do a little more research on. Okay, once you have everything ready, you'll open up PinPBO, and you will add your mod file to it. And then this is why I had you switch the face properties before to the mod file, then the texture. Is that way when you make a prefix in, it'll just call that texture, so you won't have any texture errors when you first load up the game. But yeah, just pack it into an @mod folder with add-ons, and it should be good to go. So got it in my add folders and added it to my little launcher here. Little shout out to 21st Rangers, clan I've been gaming with recently. So here's the mod in the editor. It'll be under objects. Again, I haven't figured out the CPP yet, or the config file. It should be objects. Just missed it. There it is. And hit preview, and it'll be in the game. I'll post more videos once I learn some more. Really want to get into the bisurf and the RMaps, as well as the string tables and model configs and animations. So hopefully you've learned something, and let me know if there's something you want me to get into. Goodbye for now.